The street was silent as Anna pulled her car into the driveway, her headlights slicing through the heavy fog, revealing the outline of her small suburban house. She turned off the engine, grabbed a bag of groceries, and stepped out. The air was cold, biting at her skin. Something about the stillness unsettled her. The front porch creaked under her boots as she walked up the steps. That's when she saw it. A small, plain brown package sitting neatly on the doormat. There was no address, no markings, nothing but its bland, almost forgettable presence. "What the hell?" she muttered, glancing around. The street was empty, the night unnaturally quiet. She picked up the package, carried it inside, and locked the door behind her. The house was dimly lit and cluttered, still in disarray from her recent move. Boxes were stacked against the wall, and the furniture looked hastily arranged. Anna set the groceries on the counter, tossed her keys onto the couch, and placed the package on the coffee table. For a moment, she just stared at it, her unease starting to grow. Finally, curiosity got the best of her. She grabbed a kitchen knife and sliced the tape sealing the box. Inside was a VHS tape, the words "Watch Me" scrawled across the label in black marker. "Seriously?" Anna said aloud, her voice bouncing off the empty walls. She didn't even own a VHS player, except she remembered there was one. The old tenant had left behind a boxy, outdated TV with a built-in player. It sat in the corner of the living room, still plugged in. Anna hesitated, but something compelled her to keep going. She slid the tape into the player and turned on the TV. The screen flickered to life, casting the room in a pale, ghostly light. At first, the footage was shaky and unfocused, like an old home video. Then Anna realized what she was looking at: her own living room. The camera's perspective was from outside the house, peering in through the window. She froze, her heart beating fast in her chest. The angle was unmistakable. She could see the couch, the lamp, even the grocery bag she had just set down. Slowly, Anna turned to the window. It was empty, just her own reflection staring back at her. "This isn't funny," she said, though no one was there to hear her. On the screen, the footage continued. She saw herself sitting on the couch, flipping through a magazine. But Anna wasn't sitting. She was standing, watching in disbelief. Then came the knock, loud and deliberate. It echoed through the house. Anna jumped, spinning around to face the front door, her heart beating fast in her chest, her breath heavy. The sound came again, slower this time, as if it was taunting her. She tiptoed to the door, her fingers trembling as she reached the peephole. Nothing. She unlocked the door and cracked it open. The cold night air rushed in, and she stepped outside, scanning the porch and the empty street beyond. There was no one. Anna slammed the door and locked it again. Her blood was racing, but when she turned back to the TV, her blood ran cold. The footage had changed now. It was showing her opening the door, the tape playing her reaction to the knock, her stepping outside, glancing up and down the street. "This isn't possible," Anna whispered. The footage suddenly flickered. The screen went black for a moment before a new image appeared. The camera was moving now, slowly panning toward the house. A shadowy figure came into view, a faceless silhouette walking toward her window. "No," Anna whispered, backing away. The lights in the house flickered. The shadows in the corners seemed to stretch and shift. Then came the sound again, faint, rhythmic knocking. But it wasn't coming from the door this time. It was coming from the walls. The knocks grew louder, more deliberate, as if something or someone was moving closer. Grabbing her phone, she dialed 911. "Hello? Someone's in my house," she said. "Please send someone." Her voice was interrupted by a burst of static. The line crackled, and then she heard it, her own voice, distorted, echoing back to her. "Hello? Someone's in my house." The phone slipped from her hands and hit the floor. Her legs felt like jelly as she backed into the kitchen, grabbing a knife from the counter. The knocking had stopped, replaced by an even more terrifying sound. Footsteps. They were faint, deliberate, and unmistakably coming from inside the house. Anna pressed herself against the wall, clutching the knife so tightly her knuckles turned white. She scanned the room, her eyes moving to every shadow, every corner. That's when she saw it, a fleeting reflection in the kitchen window. Something was behind her. She spun around, but there was nothing there, just the empty, flickering room. Her survival instincts kicked in. She bolted upstairs to her bedroom, slamming the door and locking it. She shoved the dresser in front of the door. For a few moments, everything was silent. Anna crouched in the corner, her knife still in her hand, trying to steady her breathing. She told herself it was over. Whatever it was, it couldn't get to her now. Then she heard a faint, whirring sound, like the mechanical hum of a VHS player. Her eyes darted to the floor. There, lying in the middle of the room, was the tape. The label had changed. It no longer said, "Watch me." Now it read, "You're next." "No," Anna whispered, her voice barely audible. Her closet door creaked open behind her. She turned, and for a split second, she saw a tall, faceless figure crouched in the darkness.